Hello everyone, hello again. Welcome to the Manager Hacker portion on the Self-Achievement group, the Self-Achievement channel. My name is Dominic. In this session, I'm going to be talking about the Buddy Boss. The Buddy Boss. You know, everybody has had or met somebody who is like, I call them the niceaholic. The Buddy Boss, the niceaholic, because they are all about friendship and they're very insecure, and it's not so much. I'm going to give you an example. I had a Buddy Boss several years ago, and anyway, I'm going to be talking about the Buddy Boss, and it's important because you may be the kind of a person that likes to have a good friend as Buddy Boss, but the people that have a lot of ambition, that want to get ahead, they may be held back by someone who has those kind of traits. So it's a problem. It can be a problem. So anyway, several years ago, I was professional sales, selling audiovisual equipment, and I had a manager who was a good manager, and except he was a lot about more about being friendly to me, because I think that he needed to be liked, so that he needed to be liked as a manager. The problem with that was he really didn't push me to meet my targets. Now, if you're in sales, of course, you know that you need to meet your targets. If you're motivated by money, you definitely want to meet your targets. If you're not totally motivated by money, then you may do things with your Buddy Boss that may be holding you back, and then the end of the month or the end of the quarter, then you have regret. So this is really important. So my Buddy Boss wasn't helping me to the point that I was meeting my targets on a regular basis, and I felt like it was mostly up to me. If I would have had that kind of support, then maybe I would have met my targets more often, but I didn't. But anyway, before I get into this, I wanted to share a little bit of information. A couple of months ago, I spent about, 3 or 4 hours on the internet looking up traits of good and great managers, and it was really interesting what I found. And so I had this put this spreadsheet together, and I found it the other day, and I was like, oh, this would really be some good information to share. So I made a list in a spreadsheet of all the different words that I found. And, from leadership to coaching to being organized, focused, having a vision, confidence, and all that. And then on the bad side, things like they're being arrogant or controlling or lack of trust or things like that. So I put together all of these traits, the good and the bad traits. And what I came up with, what I did was I took all the common words that I found on these lookups, and these were from some pretty reputable websites. For example, Entrepreneur Magazine, right? Forbes, Inc., and Business Insider. There was a few of them that I looked up. So the top trait for being a good to great manager, 23%, okay? Being human. Hello? Being human. That's right, 23%. Coaching, 12%. Communication, 9%, which is really interesting because you would think that communication would be the top one. Yeah, of course, yeah, that's a high one. Then it drops down to leadership at 5%, knowledge of the business is at 4%, flexibility 4%, goal setting 4%. But being a human being, wow, being real, being authentic, like that, 23 whopping percent. That's double the 12% of coaching, okay? On the flip side of that, the bad traits, 11%, no balls, meaning they don't have the guts to stand up to upper management. Hi, Sally. How are you doing, sweetie? Hope that everything is going well over there. I'm talking about the buddy boss today, and so I had done some research to look up the good traits and the bad traits of managers in general. So I'm on the bad traits now. So no balls, meaning they don't have the guts, they don't have the gusto, whatever it is, to stand up to resistance, to upper management, to whatever. 11% also that came in tied for the first place doesn't build relationships on the bad trait side. You know, there are some people out there in management that they just don't build relationships. It's not like it's the worst thing in the world. It's the worst thing that they can do, because that's their number one job, to build relationships with people, right? With you. So they don't build relationships, down to 10% visionless. It's like they don't keep the vision of the organization alive for the people that they manage. And that's a big problem, because if a manager doesn't keep the vision alive for his own people, how can they be motivated internally to keep that vision alive? Very complicated. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you before I get into the Buddy Boss stuff, the hacks that I have to share with you today. The Buddy Boss. Okay, I call him the Niceaholic. The Buddy Boss, also known as the Niceaholic, has an incurable addiction to niceness. They are always ready to listen to the worries and problems of others and spare no effort when they're asked for help. With over-exaggerated empathy and dripping sympathy, they can somehow sense what other people need and will sometimes offer help before they're even asked to help. Their energetic, phony, aesthetic friendship is unpleasantly pathetic. So these are needy people. It's not that they're bad people, right? It's just that they have a personality that they forget that they have control of, and they let it hang out with their people. So buddy bosses are always willing to point out the strong points of others. Of course they're going to do that, right? Because when people point out your strong points all the time, you're going to like them more, right? They excuse the weaknesses. Now what does that sound like? You know, when a buddy boss is excusing your weaknesses, what are they really doing? They're enabling you, right? They're making you weaker. If they don't point out your weaknesses by coaching or through coaching to give you something to work toward, right? Then they're enabling you. They're among the most sociable of all manager types. Of course, they want to hang out a lot and talk and socialize and create bonds, and that's all good. But when it comes down to work and you're getting advanced and getting promoted, it puts a damper on things, right? So social contacts and interactions are very important to them, because the buddy boss wants to make friends with everyone and wants everyone to be happy. They get caught in lies because they tell one person one thing and another person something else, so that everybody's happy, and they, like that. So anyway, they are really insecure. And so what can you do with these people so that you don't get caught up in the drama, so that you don't get caught up in the day-to-day, I don't know what you want to call it, the gossip and the stuff, like, all the stuff that goes on in the office, so that what it boils down to is that you're really being held back. And you think, oh, well, one of these days I'm going to get my act together and get out of this, and get out of this environment. But then weeks go by, months go by, and you never do, and then you're wondering why you're not getting promoted, you're not moving on, like that. So it's about recognizing the characteristics of a buddy boss that will help you to counteract some of their behaviors, so that you can stay focused and move forward faster. So I pulled out 4 hacks that I feel are really, that's a scrap piece of paper, 4 hacks that I really feel are useful and that will help you to not get caught up in the buddy bosses drama and their stuff. So first of all, the first hack is help them make realistic commitments. And a buddy boss is not about making commitments. Of course, they want to get the work done at some point in time. They're not totally urgent, but they don't always meet the commitments because socializing is more important. So what you can do when you're recognizing that they're not staying focused and on target, like, oh, well, we'll get this done tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it is that big of a deal to you, if you really have that kind of urgency. Help them to make the commitments. Like, wait a minute, it's not okay. What else can we do, or what can we do next time? These are things that you can say to them that will help to move things forward faster. So you're the one that has the intention. You're the one that's moving things forward instead of waiting for them. They're supposed to be the manager moving things forward, but you're the one that is helping them to keep the commitments going. Number 2, don't let them do your work. A lot of times, I've heard and I've been in environments where the buddy boss will empathize that you have to leave early, which is fine on occasion, but when they're always volunteering to do your work so that you can leave early so that you can get onto other projects, the thing is, don't let them do your work unless, of course, it's an emergency, because when you're letting them do your work, then when it comes to promotion time or performance review, you have less accomplishments to talk about that get put into your into your file, so that when your next manager is looking at what your accomplishments are, say, oh, well, my manager used to help me do my work. No, that's not what you want to do. Number 3, this is a really easy one, and sometimes not as easy as you might think. It's don't get caught up in their chit-chat. So they'll come to your desk. These are the managers that probably think they're doing this wandering around management style so that they're connecting with their people, but the chit-chat goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and then the work doesn't get done, which gets back to making the commitments and getting the things done so that you can have a lot more accomplishments on your performance review. And then number 4 is use assertive communication. Throughout all of these types of interactions with them, you want to make sure that you're using assertive language, like, okay, come on guys, now it's time for us to get back to work and get focused. So you be the one to take charge and to take the responsibility to keep things focused when your manager isn't doing that. So those are 4 little simple hacks that you can do. They are all listed in one of the companion books to the Manager Hacker book. I've expanded them now out to 65 pages, so there's a lot of really good information inside there for the different boss types. If you don't know what the boss types are, they are very simply the bitch boss, the buddy boss, the bully boss, the badass boss, the boo boss. This is your ghost boss that's never around. The bozo boss, the clown boss, right? The big mouth boss that's just always talk, talk, talk. The brain boss that thinks they know everything. The micromanager. So these are companion books that are available on the website, instituteforselfachievement.com. You can go on there and take a look at the descriptions. If you have one of those types of bosses that you're struggling with that's holding you back, please go ahead and take a look at that and grab it if you need to. All right. So that's all that I've got for today. Let's see, check the time. Okay, I've been on for about 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep these things as short as possible. Tomorrow is the next section. I'm going to be wearing the Goal Hacker hat tomorrow. I'm going to leave it as a surprise. And if you are available and are interested in keeping your goals and your execution on your goals going, check in with me same time tomorrow. Again, I think that I had mentioned this last week. If you have a special talent that you would like to present here, please inbox me and let me know. I've got a couple of people right now that have come forward, and we're looking at what we can do and when we can do that. So please, let's talk. All right. Thank you for being here. See you next time. Sally, take care of yourself. Thanks for coming. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.